Hey y'all, this is a little maybe fun, hopefully not too shit talky. Pre-coordination stream with I think Brian and I and maybe Mario, maybe whoever wants the hell to come join in watch party in the Discord can chat about who they think are the S and the A tiers and why, and yeah, maybe Ryan, the guru seater, will uh, come out with some wisdom, impress us. Maybe he'll underrate me
So,
again.
it's funny you say that because I got like my first big break as a seeder was a year ago at ECC two. Domish was coming out of retirement with Turbo, and everyone was like, you especially were like, oh, that's like the Jordan Pippen of like KQ. They got this for sure. And like I was on the Matt Wu hype train back then. I was
Oh,
like, you know what, Ron? Like I think you got this one. Like I believe in you. And I correctly called you winning, and Wall Street plus Woody getting second, and then I said Domish and Turbo are gonna get fourth, and they got third. So that was like the first perfect, like near really good seating I had. But this is like one okay. First of all, like I guess we should talk about this tournament and like how competitive it is. Like relative to the other tournaments this year. So far, like I think it's kind of unanimous. Like 35 is like the most like impressive like win for a tournament,
yeah.
and
Hmm.
then Spar Lake is up there, and then we have this tournament, and then GDC 7 is probably also going to be like a really competitive one. So where would you like rank this tournament in terms of like if you win, how hard is it to win this?
Um, so I mean, who is the best? I mean, who won the tournaments this year's? Like, uh,
So Chicago
yeah, I
135
I think
with
that's basically nationals. Like, I think Chicago won nationals, and I think
yeah.
that short of there being a real nationals and Woody in Chicago, whatever, running a sort of that team slightly refined. I think that'll be the best team that played this year.
Okay.
Uh,
So yeah, but like beyond that, we're like, is this the second
there's,
hardest tournament to
I
win this
mean,
year or third?
who was the other, like, what were super
Salt
seeded
Lake.
teams? Salt Lake. I don't know. I mean, Salt Lake, like, the New York team, I think didn't, like, they won, but they didn't win that hard, right? Like, it was game seven, right, in the finals.
Yeah, but there was like a lot of parity between the good teams in that tournament. Like,
Oh,
there
so
were a lot of.
yeah. Okay, so are you want to compare by like how strong the fifth best team is or the first best team is? Because those are
I,
different.
I, yeah, I think the comparison is like how difficult are the top? How difficult is it to get into the top eight? I think that's a
Top
good
eight.
barometer.
Top eight. Yeah, I mean top eight is hard because I don't think I have that good memory. Like, not tournaments are usually not even like, it's usually
Yeah,
like 20 teams. That's a kind of big tournament, right?
yeah, yeah. So Spar Lake was first was New York. Second was SF. Third, I believe, was Domish plus Connor and Marion. That's comp they run, and Miranda. Those four, and they had Nick Higgins that time. Uh, Fourth was Woody plus Dan Barron plus
No, no,
Nikki,
no, no,
and then
no.
Elise
Definitely
and
not the
Jeff.
case. Definitely not the case. I think fourth was me.
Okay, you were fourth, and then
Yeah.
Woody was fifth, and then Dallas was sixth, and I think it was BK is like seven, and I don't remember who's eight.
Yeah,
But anyways, that was a pretty strong tournament, and it's like the question
that's
is this top eight like harder to get into than
yeah.
Spar
I
Lake?
mean, we can look at my own. I think yeah, top eight. I would guess like that BK team would beat the team that finishes second or seventh in Coronation. I think. Like looking at my seeds,
Hmm.
uh, yeah, I think
I would
that.
agree. Yeah. So I'd say this is like, in terms of hardest tournaments to win this year, probably the third. Maybe the fourth if GDC 7 has a really good turnout, but that's my take.
Yeah, I mean, but that getting top eight and getting top one are different, right? Like
Sure.
I definitely think, yeah, I don't know. I suspect
Chicago
Coronation. Good.
Chicago is kind of weird in the sense that I feel like there is kind of like a lack of power. Like I felt like the number one and two teams were insane, but apart from that, it felt like it wasn't as hard, or it was just a lot of teams were there, which made it hard to get into the top eight. But as far as like how good the teams were, I felt like Salt Lake and maybe Coronation are compete pretty well with how good the teams were. Like to just to make it into the top eight, I think they're all pretty equal in that sense.
I don't know. I mean, Chicago just had so many teams, right? And like, I don't know. I would say
I,
Coronation or Chicago's got to be just hardest at any seed you pick. I think that Chicago was the strongest.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think it'd be
how
close.
often do you see a real Chicago starting five?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right? Like that's a
yeah,
very, very rare team. And the real, I mean, you see a lot of starting five NYCs actually, like, but but that Chicago team with Ling Ling and Dan and Nikki and now Marshall, like that's like the best Chicago team that they can put out, in my
yeah.
opinion. And they won again, so I definitely think that's easily the hardest tournament. But I do think that maybe Spar Lake is second, but we'll see. So, but yeah, so I think this is like definitely like one of the hardest tournaments to win this year.
Yeah.
Probably the third, maybe the second. So,
Yeah. Um,
anyways,
Yeah,
should we just get into talking about
yeah.
seeds?
yeah. So
Do you want?
you
Should I put up
seated
my
yourself
seed?
first.
Yeah. I mean, this is a little spicy. I think I'll be a little bit disappointed if we don't get top three. I definitely see like the Woody SF team as like
Hmm.
the other top seed if it's not us. Um, yeah, I don't know. We've played a lot against Sam's team, not as much as you'd expect, but maybe four good practice sessions. And like
Mhm.
I know I was going into it expecting that like Sam's team would be a little bit better than us, like maybe we'd be taking 40% of games.
Mhm.
And instead we've been taking like 70% of games. So probably Sam's
Mhm.
team's not as strong as I expected. My team's stronger than I expected.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Um,
So, who's this Jack player on your team? I've never seen them on
Jack,
a sheet before.
yeah, Jack is a game dev. He played with PK, Turbo, Wyatt in Bubble Bash 4. He's like a solid drone. Like,
Okay.
his warrior's not great. If he comes up, he just kind of does like wacky shit. He'll sometimes get super dope stuff because, he just kind of plays random and unpredictable. But
Hmm.
his drone is solid. Like I would say a notch below like Katie Caston level drone. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
So he's like he's like an OG kind of player. Like he's been
Uh,
playing for a while.
he's been like I guess he started playing in like 2017, 2018, but he's never been that
Mhm.
hardcore.
Okay.
Um, but he did drone main for a strong team um, pre-pandemic, and he drones well. And Richard and Wyatt both like know how drone should play, and he takes feedback. So yeah.
Okay. So this might be a shit talky or kind of a harsh question, but why do you think you're going to beat the Woody team?
Why do I think? Okay, here's why I think what we have. Right, we're the same scene. Right, we've played together a ton. I do
Okay.
think like I played a lot with Matt Wu. Matt Wu's amazing, right? I think BK is, I would guess, like a little bit better of a speed warrior than Matt Wu.
Nah.
Would
No way, dude. No fucking way.
Holman, I love Matt Wu. BK is, I think
He's great. I love BK's speed warrior, but like I don't know. I think like Wu does things that very few other warriors can do.
that is true. That is true. Like, he's not BK is not going to show up in highlight reels, but
Hmm.
if you're going to look at like low light reels and look at how much like low lights per 60 minutes of gameplay, right? I
Hmm.
think Matt Wu like will have bad plays like at a substantially higher rate. and good plays at a slightly higher rate compared to BK, right? And BK also is not like crazy weird mad scientist, right? He doesn't do berry smush. He just like, you know, he basically plays in the like, I don't know, Turbo B Wong school of like, this is how a fucking good Speed Warrior should play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and he gets to iterate like playing against strong teams with me, right? Like
Mhm.
this is something I haven't had with Matt Wu. Like I had a little bit of this in with Matt Wu, like in this like retreat thing in 2022, where we played a
This
lot together. But
this feels like a betrayal because you were so upset when BK took Matt Wu for the Salt Lake tournament. You're like messaging me like, oh, BK fucking took Matt Wu. Like you're like so
I
mad
mean,
about
I
it,
was
and
sad.
now
Yeah.
you're like,
Look, I
now
mean,
you're like, oh no BK's better. Like okay, that feels like a 180.
um, I think, I mean, right, going into the practices, I expected to win 40%, right? And in practice,
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
we're probably winning 70%. And a lot of that is
Okay.
BK is substantially better than I expected, right?
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe
Yeah.
the morale thing from like the Sam
Mhm.
KQ35 stuff isn't great. Maybe Sam's got some personal shit going on, so Sam's not that focused. Uh, maybe the team like a little bit tilted and spiraled where Prashant like dies a little bit too much and then spirals into being too aggressive, and then Soren, compensates by like never dying, but then plays a little too passive, and like it's just like
Yeah.
bad. Like I don't know why they are not winning, why they haven't been winning as much as I expected them to. Um, yeah. So
In ter in terms of aggressive plays on Queen, who's the best striker in this team? Because I see a lot of safe warrior play out of Wyatt, BK, and Richard, but I'm not sure if you need to do something. Like I assume that like nothing
oh
dope's gonna happen. Like it's just gonna
oh
be
no.
like very much like pins it horizontal.
Um oh no. My Something is wrong. Sorry, internet. I don't know what's wrong with my Chrome.
Oh shit.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know. I think Discord just dropped. Uh, I'm back. Is Discord happy? Could someone check
I
the
can hear you.
Twitch? Yeah. Can someone just check the Twitch on my phone to make sure the streaming is still going okay? No, no. I mean, the in terms of the last thing I heard, you assume there's got to be not any hype or striking or whatever. PK is still
Yeah.
quite a good striker. All right, I'm trying to look at the Twitch and see
Mhm.
if. Okay, it's fine. Sorry, I didn't have the chat loaded either. I should probably try to do the pop out chat so I can keep up.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's
Okay.
not gonna be like there's gonna be no like BK getting like a stinch hattie or whatever. No, that's not gonna happen. And it's gonna be a lot more like whatever, classic, just strong New York team playing well coordinated, etc. Uh, yeah.
I will also give you the home court advantage here. That does matter. Like you have familiarity with the cab. You know what
Um,
it like.
uh,
I don't know.
I, there's gonna
Familiarity
be
with the cab like that is important.
it's gonna
Um,
be five cabs, and I actually don't really love the cab that's at NYU. Um,
Mm.
okay.
yeah. Do you think home court
You're
matters?
not going to be playing on the one oh here's a good question. Are you going to be playing on the one you're practicing on?
I mean that'll be one of the five cabs. Like I assume
Okay.
whatever cab sort of feels the best and competitors like the most is the one that's gonna like get games played in late knockout when it matters. Maybe one
Yeah.
of those will be a Baltimore cab. I did like the Baltimore cabs,
Yeah.
3 months ago or whenever they
Hmm.
they ran their thing. Uh, but no, I mean, I don't know. I don't want like, oh,
So
this cab is weird
so
and like New York is familiar with it. Like that would be a total horseshit reason to win a tournament. I don't want that at all. Like if people object to the cab, like we'll have five cabs. We
um,
should just pick the one that's best.
but yeah, I'm not saying that, but like there is like just a slight little familiarity with it that's helpful. Not like that's
Yeah.
completely foreign to other players. But anyways, here's my problem. Like not my problem, but like Woody sits on the throne until someone dethrones her.
Yeah.
Like she won 35. She got damn near close to winning GDC 6 with like a mixed team. Uh, she won that spring series tournament. Um, it's just she's the best queen. Like you can't really argue against her being the best queen in like by a pretty substantial margin too. And this team that she's taking is one of, if probably not the best, like supporting San Francisco squads you could formulate. Like maybe you could throw Josh B, Scott, Sam Weddle, like Felix. They have a lot of depth that they could play around with like in this lineup. But that D-Roy, Matt, Ryan, and PJ is an insane like warrior
Yeah.
trio. Like that's
It's
like
good.
such a
It's
nice like balance
yeah.
between each other.
Yeah.
And
No.
then you have a guy that's like kind of highlighted some of the like most important like drone tech discoveries with Brian. Like the best queen with one of the best like SF supporting squads, it has to be a clear number one. Like I don't see how it's not
So okay, wait. Could you give me 5-1 then?
5-1. What do you mean?
Yeah. Like
Like
you
your
bet.
odds of winning the tournament?
Yeah, their odds. Their odds. Like you bet
Sorry,
20.
Woody's team's odds?
Yeah. You,
Are we?
I lose 20.
Is this a
You
betting
lose
stream
100.
now? Gambling's legal in Texas. You can't do
It's legal,
that.
illegal.
It's
Uh,
illegal in Texas. I I don't approve of any of these transactions, but
okay.
I'll text you later. Um,
Uh,
I'd give Woody
yeah.
seems like, yeah, that's a clear one to me. Like, not there's a chance that you and Eduardo maybe dethrone them. It's not
Mm,
insignificant, but I think it's got to be a clear favorite.
yeah, yeah. Your team's dope, Rob. Except you're queening it, so that's the problem.
You know, I'll make some side J's. I'll miss some side J's. Tap fast on occasion. Um, yeah, no. I would not fault anyone for putting Woody's team at number one. Like, I think that's totally reasonable.
Okay. So
Especially
like, are you putting yourself one for like self belief, like to like hype
no,
yourself up?
no,
Okay.
no. Like, I
Because
mean,
I've been guilty of that. I was guilty of that at Salt Lake.
Well,
Like,
maybe you're winning it. Maybe you're winning in New York, but maybe both teams just lose
yeah,
in the tournament.
it's possible. It's very possible.
You
We will
know.
see. We will see.
okay,
Uh,
so you believe in yourself. There's nothing wrong with believing in yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm pretty calibrated. Like, I don't know. I would love to see if I've tended to overseed or underseed myself.
Well, here's the thing I'd like to ask you about. You're switching to triple now. Like, are you changing your test style for this tournament?
Um, I've been working on
He
a
still taps
triple.
like a baby bird.
It's probably not ready.
Okay.
Uh, right. So it'll likely be combination. I'll probably just be tapping like I've always tapped. Except for the one thing is like since I climb a ton now, like I have a ridiculous amount of stamina for my fast tap. Like I used to burn out during practices. Like if I play for like I don't know these 4 hour practices with 3 teams, by like the third hour,
Mhm.
I'd be like just my forearm would be spent. That just doesn't happen anymore. Like climbing is just so much more intense than holding my freaking wrist tight or whatever for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Uh,
How about I
yeah.
start sharing my seeds?
Oh yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Let's do that. So you
Let's
can read
see.
this like left or right. This is the number seeding.
Um,
Um, so let's talk about the Eduardo team then, because that's probably the biggest wild card here.
yeah.
In terms of where it could go.
Oh, you're breaking
Eduardo's
up
been
now.
trying and Barrett to play on a team with him for like years now. This is like his white whales, he calls it. Always wanted Dan Barrett to play with him. I always remember like that skill sheet. I think like that Dan made, that stuff Dan made, that was like it was like, okay, Dan Barron won, and it was like win loss total was like 270 maps and like 50 losses and something ridiculous. And then like number two is B Long. I just remember reading that true skill sheet and be like, oh my god, this guy's insane. Yeah, here's the other thing too that's interesting. If there's a speed warrior that knows Woody well enough, it's got to be Dan Barron because Dan Barron is Woody's rock. Like that's an interesting matchup at this tournament. I think is if Dan knows all of Woody's tendencies, does he that to uh,
The audio is cutting out. Audio's coming out. It's coming
and I
out.
rate you higher than Wood. I mean, wins up.
Sorry.
You know?
Wait, yeah, I
Yeah.
think there's just random audio issues. Maybe we gotta restart from Dan Barron is a Plato's White Whale. And Woody and Dan Barron know each other's style quite well, right?
Woody.
Oh my god. It's annoying audio issues.
Rate you as a queen like higher than the track record. All right.
Wait. Fuck. I'm gonna disconnect and reconnect.
Sure.
Hopefully that finishes it. Fixes it. Computers. Okay.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Yeah, perfectly clear.
Okay. Okay, sweet. Yeah, so Dan and hell you
Audio is fucking up again. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna just turn off your stream. Alright. Maybe we should just like do no cameras so we could just get audio because that's the important part, and then maybe stuff will just start working. Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Okay. Let's
Okay.
try again.
We good?
We're good. I think we're good. I hope it just lasts. Oh my god. All right. One more chance.
Test, we good?
Test. I hope so. I guess we could also maybe switch to like DM, like video, if that might work better.
Well, I could just stop streaming too. I mean, like people already saw the seeds. I can just go through them verbally.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that'll help. Sorry for this low budget stream. Okay, so
No
you're
worries.
saying
Yeah, so I was talking about Hell before we cut off, and someone who I think is probably top three, top five vanilla warrior in the game still. Fast double tapper, really good in open space too. She like gets you with a couple ricochets, and I think she's going to be a perfect like low warrior to help with the objective. And then a really exciting get for this team is Nick Higgins. Very aggressive second speed, will be good as a striker. The one thing that I love about watching Nick Higgins is like if you watch him on like a dusk map, he'll just like sit in that dust tunnel and like spam the skip tech and like hit it perfectly every time. It's like kind of like mesmerizing to watch someone just like execute tech perfectly over and over again. And but I'm just like my point is like this team has like a really good like kind of synergistic levels of aggression within the warrior and like a lot of raw talent in and of itself. So it's a good balance. I just think that like, being a 5 seed, there's going to be some, no scrim, no practice, like, restriction maybe.
Yeah.
Let's not forget Brett, like Brett, the drone, Jasmine. If you've ever listened to like an SF stream where she's on the mic, she's like one of the most like keen analytical minds, like, with a really good awareness for the game state.
Yeah.
And like, executes drone at a really high level too. And, you know, this may be like a spicy take, but like I think that because, at least as far as I know, she doesn't seem to have like a drone ego. She's like perfect for this team because, when you have a drone ego, there are moments where you're like kind of like going for sick bumps when you should just be like getting feeds off on snail or, just doing like the shitty stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that like ability, like that analysis and understanding of the game combined with zero ego is like the perfect drone for this team. So like on paper, like perfect squad. It's just like Woody sits on the throne until someone unseats her,
Yeah. I do
Yeah.
think
So
5 seed is a big cost. Like, I don't think it should be underestimated. Um, I guess power pools will help a little bit. I don't know, like, if they really want to win the tournament, I think it's like you play groups and then you go to the nearest Airbnb with your teammates and then you go like watch the footage. You don't play like the shitty trash games or whatever. Or maybe, you
yeah.
watch the footage and then you go play the trash games. I don't
Mhm.
know how much they care about winning versus, having a bunch of good ass games in trash games Saturday.
No, Eduardo's definitely trying to win, so I would imagine that they get some sort of film review going. Here's the
Yeah.
other thing about Eduardo. He's like every single. I mean, he does this kind of normally, but even more so lately. He plays every single time like there's 10 people on the cab, even less. And like I've heard from Rosalinda, he literally like as soon as he plays and there's a stream, he just like goes home and like watches his own footage from that same night until he like falls asleep like on the laptop. He's like
Oh,
really
fuck.
he's playing some of the best KQ I've ever seen him play like in our local games lately. So he's like preparing mentally trying to win this.
Yeah.
So I think he has a shot for sure. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, like you said, the 5 scene potential lack of cohesion, that's definitely a cost. But with how much talent and experience is on this team, in addition to like how they kind of synergize, solid chance to win. Just it's Woody plus the best of SF though, so that's a really hard, mountain to climb.
Yeah.
So
So is Eduardo the shot caller? Like, is that what's gonna happen?
I think it's Dan.
Dan. Does Dan shot call? I don't know. I actually haven't played on the same side of the cap as Dan very much at all. Uh,
Yeah. Here, okay. One last point. We talked about this team enough. Um, I know for a fact, because Hell said it in like the chat. She like really cares about good vibes, and I've talked to like Dan about it too, and like he really cares about like positive energy and good vibes as well.
yeah.
And so I feel like with this squad, there's no risk of like toxic burnout or like yelling. So I
Yeah.
feel like they're gonna have a good vibes boost as well.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
anyways,
there's a balance to be struck there between like not being too like bad vibes and being able to actually give like actionable feedback to teammates, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um, so like if you're too good vibes, then you don't ever like, be like, hey, like you went low here, but you should have just held high, or like you're getting picked off as like speed drone too much, or like like I mean, I don't know, like this is a balance. Certainly, I get wrong sometimes. Um, do you think they're gonna be uh like direct enough with each other and still maintain those vibes?
that's a great question. Um, I will tell you this. So at HCC 3, like after the tournament ended, like Eduardo was complaining to me a little bit that like there was like that false, indirect, like not enough direct communication when things are going bad.
Yeah,
Uh, so I don't know if he has that like ability to like cut through the good vibes and like kind of ground his team.
yeah,
So I'd be interested in seeing if someone else picks up that slack.
yeah.
So
Mm.
I don't. I mean, when I played
Anyways,
with Hill, she said she likes playing with me, and I'm pretty direct. So
mhm.
maybe they can all, you know,
Yeah,
be
I think they'll figure it out.
yeah.
All right, so and I have your team third, and like I do rate you higher than Eduardo. I mean, you got the wins, and you got like a more consistent performance. You beat him head to head with teams of
No,
varying strength.
the
So
last
like,
time, the last time he got me, Cincy last summer.
oh, I was there. Of course, I remember. Um,
Yeah.
uh, good times.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely rate you higher, but like, I don't know. I just, I think your team has like all the best like tactical minds of NYC too. Like, I think Richard's like probably like your best analyst, honestly. At least when
No,
I've
no,
talked to him
no.
about
It's
like the
Wyatt.
game
It's
and
Wyatt.
footage.
It's Wyatt. Or it's me.
Really?
Yeah, no,
Ooh.
well, Richard,
Okay.
Richard, Richard
Oh,
is a
damn.
little bit like I don't know, like okay, this I don't want to be too shit talking, but like we're talking about like Jasmine just always doing the right thing, and Brian McMahon being like the crazy inventor who does the dope shit, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
Wyatt is like Jasmine, and Richard is like Brian McMahon, right? Wyatt
Well,
is
that's
is is maybe he's not going to be the one who discovers fucking hover transfer or like whatever charging. Like Richard discovered both of those actually. Maybe the
yeah.
charging was discovered by other people as well. And just like McMahon, like learns all this crazy shit, right? Like you can hit the cool berry without hitting a drone stick, right? Like I think McMahon was the one who discovered that. But anyway, I think there's like
Yeah.
a rough analog there, where like Wyatt will just fucking play the game super super practical, solid, and like think about the game that way. And Richard will be like, oh, I got pincered, but I killed both of you, right? Because yeah, you fucked the J, and then he just punished it, right? And Wyatt will be like, no, that's not gonna happen to Wyatt, because Wyatt's not gonna brag about getting fucking pincered, right? Not to say that Richard's
That's
not
funny.
amazing at the game, but yeah, I mean, we've had a
Okay.
team conversation about this
Let's
recently.
let's not gloss over this. Did you just call yourself the biggest brain in NYC?
Tactical. I mean, I think yeah, I think
Okay,
I
okay.
understand the game. Wyatt, I would say the four people, uh, who I think can shot call a team quite well, right?
Yeah.
In New York, I would say are Prashant, Brian Wong, Wyatt, and me. I think
Okay.
yeah, these would be the four people I would pick for like if you're gonna run a draft team, right? And they're gonna perform better than you know the skills of the individuals
Mhm.
because of like the team's doing the right damn thing and people are focused and coordinated and stuff and like yeah, I think those four people are the ones who will make that happen.
Sure. Okay. I'm excited to watch this team. If you're like, I saw some of your screen footage and it looked pretty dominant. So I'm excited to like, see you guys play that. I'm excited to watch you guys bore the crowd. Like it's gonna be fun.
No, it's not even that boring. BK is like he's like a little bit less impressive on the aggro speed warriors than
Mhm.
Mabu, right? Okay, less stingy, more pincery, sure. Um, but he's like more fundamentally sound on not throwing away lives. Like it's gonna still be like good fucking Killer Queen. And the other thing is he's been able to like yell at me a lot about like just pressure queens more, which I think is something I already do quite a bit. Um, but he wants more and more, and like yeah, I'll feed him. I think it's whatever
Mhm.
panned up well. But I'm talking about myself too much.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah.
do you know who's queening the
All right.
Damish and Drew team?
That's okay. This is really what I want to know because every time, I see Domish or Drew on a cap, they're always on the queen stick. I've never
Yeah,
seen either or play warrior, like ever, not even trash games.
yeah. I mean, I
Like,
early 2022 Drew warriored for me in like a West Coast circuit, and Josh B beat us in the finals of this like 9 team
mhm.
tournament or something. Um, I would okay if
I
yeah
would say
I
Domish.
yeah I mean Domish. I think if the team wants to go as far as possible, Domish should be the queen. No offense to Drew.
Okay.
Um, but do we know actually? Like Drew is in the middle, where Domish is like second. Like I don't think, usually the queen's on the top,
Yeah,
or sometimes the queen's
maybe
in that third position. Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. Maybe they're using my like contrarian like team sheet format where you put the queen name in the center.
Yeah.
But like, how good is Domish's Warrior? Have you ever seen it play Warrior?
I mean, I'm sure I've seen it. Um, I would, yeah. I don't remember. I don't know that well. I do think he's probably pretty imbalanced towards queen. But also that's like from just what I knew about how he played from New York City. Not that he played a poor warrior, but I mean he played a fantastic queen, right? I think Drew's the gap between Drew's queen and his warrior is a lot closer, in my impression, than the gap between Domish's queen and Domish's warrior.
Yeah, yeah. So like one of like my favorite like archetypes in team building is like this really like hyper aggressive warrior that usually is getting speed, and then this really like safe kind of like objective focused warrior that's usually playing vanilla. And I think like Connor and Marion are becoming like one of the marquee like like aggressive speed like safer vanilla like warrior combos. Kind of like that like Abdu and Jason G like combo too. Like that's another one. Um, and like I haven't beaten that team. Like I haven't beaten Domish plus you know Connor, Marion, and Miranda plus random fifth. Like lost them in Salt Lake pools, lost them in Salt Lake bracket, lost them in 35 bracket. They're a great fucking squad. They got second at 35.
Yeah, they
That's an
got second
incredible
and
feat.
35 is insane. Like that's
Yeah, yeah. They beat that NYC team in losers final,
yeah.
and got the grand finals. So this is like I just the confusion of having two queen mains on the team is what's like making me see them fourth. Like I just don't know who's playing warrior, and I don't know how good their warrior is.
Yeah. Um
Yeah.
I'm seated them as though Domish was gonna queen, and I suspect like Drew's queen is not as good as Josh B's queen. Um,
I do want to get to Josh B's queen in a second because shout out to him for winning Camp KQ.
oh yeah,
Been
yeah,
on a
yeah.
hot streak lately.
Or sorry, his warrior rather, that
Yeah,
would be the substitution.
right,
Um,
right. Yeah,
but
so I'm like really intrigued to see who plays warrior and how it goes. So
yeah, all right.
we'll see. Okay, so and for fifth I have the other NYC team.
Yeah,
So scrims are looking a little off for this team, according to you.
yeah.
Who's Java's like an OG player, right? Like from
Java's
pre-pandemic, like played in.
pre-pandemic. Yeah, Java's been playing the game longer than I have,
Okay.
or she started playing the game earlier. She definitely didn't play much like after pandemic. But yeah, she played on the Full Snail University for fucking ever. Like Java, Drew, Charles, Tiana. Uh, fuck. I think. My God, Mike Dooley. He's also hasn't played since like even before the pandemic. He quit. But yeah, so she actually hasn't been coming out to practice that much, but she's gonna basically be exclusively droning. And she's, pre-pandemic she was a very good drone. She's still, she's a little rusty, but like definitely not a bad drone. Uh,
So, so I was definitely going to see this team third until I started hearing about your report on the scrims. Um, D kicked ass at Salt Lake. I mean, she was, you know,
yeah,
almost carrying, not carrying, like, yes, almost close to carrying like the Warriors on that team. And it's like a nice, like on paper, it's a nice mix of aggression, right? Like Prashant, loves his hard reads, loves his shuffles at the end of like that ledge near the date safe gates. Gets you all the time with it. It's really funny to watch. And then and then Surin is like a really, this classic like they are the rock.
yeah,
They're usually last one up and covering Sam's head,
yeah,
facilitating more forms. So like on paper it looks good. I don't know where the lack of cohesion is happening.
yeah,
That was apparently is happening.
yeah.
So
Hopefully they'll figure it out. I mean, I think
yeah.
Sam and Prashant both have reputations of performing better in tournaments than in practice. Uh, so maybe
Mhm.
that'll kick in. But
Yeah. Plus home court, which I do think is a thing. Um, and are practicing. So they can definitely put it together the day of the tournament, but we'll see. So that's my five spot. Would not be surprised if I underseeded them. Could very easily podium. Could even win. We'll see what happens. So at 6, this is like my favorite like dark horse team. At 6, I got the Josh B team
Yeah.
because Josh B got second at Spar Lake, took NYC to 7 at Spar Lake in grand finals. Got second at 35 as the second speed for Domish, and then just one Camp KQ. He's basically on like a tear right now.
Yeah.
And if you want to get like hot takey and contentious, would you list him as a top 5 queen?
I don't know. Like,
Top out. Boo.
I think you certainly have to have Woody there. I think Domish,
Yeah.
like, I think 2022 Domish might not have been top 5, but I think 2023 Domish, like, it seems like he's been grinding again.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's
Yeah.
my.
Um,
So I already. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think I still got a little bit of an edge on Josh B. I suspect Sam still got an edge on Josh B. I suspect Eduardo maybe has an edge on Josh B. Dylan Lee might have an edge on Josh B.
That's okay. So my take. I mentally prepared this take for this stream. My take is right now is 1 Woody, 2 U, 3 Domish, and this is where it gets hot takey. I think I'd still put Eduardo at 4, even though he hasn't had good finishes lately. I still think if you watch the film of why he didn't finish well, I mean, our Warriors didn't show up at Salt Lake or 35 as much as they should have. I think he still played pretty damn well. And then I got Josh B at 5, Sam B at 6, Dylan Lee at 7. And anyone from like 4 to 7, I feel like can be like rearranged. But I think right now, Woody 1, Rob U at 2, and then Domish at 3 is quite clear cut to me.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Like, I
And
was
that
not
could be-
in 35, and Domish got second, right? And he looked like he was playing crisp. Like,
Right.
I could believe Domish is better than me. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It'll be fun to see.
I think the SF scene in general, since South Florida, they've been grinding on queens their ass off. So they've been showing up in every tournament. I think right now, Josh B, I would put him above Eduardo unless Eduardo's practicing his ass off, which, he told me he is. So that makes it a little bit closer.
My Eduardo take at 4 is just because what I'm seeing locally, but we're about to find out. So it could go it could go either way. It's really close.
I would put Charlie above Eduardo unless he's really grinding.
Ooh.
That's a hot take. Nah, like Charlie can match him, but like he needs more tournament experience before he starts getting that kind of credential. In my opinion. Anyways. So like this is like my dark horse team to podium. I have them at 6, but I think they could easily put it together day of the tournament and do some damage. You have like a really nice synergy of warriors here with Steve, Nikki. I presume Nikki's running drone, I guess. And then Ian and Marshall. Marshall fresh off of winning 35, Ian fresh off of winning camp. Ian and Marshall got second at that one Seattle West Circuit, which was like really competitive with Domish. It's a nicely balanced team. Josh B's on a tear. This team could easily podium.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
I bet
I call Josh B. They get top 3.
top 3. Wow.
Yeah,
this team is probably a full
I
flex
think
team,
I
right?
think it's Woody.
Sorry, go ahead.
Huh?
Yeah, sorry, I cut off where the audio was a
I
little
would
bit.
say top 3 for me. Top 3 for me would be Woody, Domish, and Josh B. In my opinion, but I'm just a hot taker. So.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I'll take even money that I end up top 3.
Okay.
I'm on team Queen strength. That's what I'm basing all my shit off. This is who I think is the strongest queens.
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
It's
Going
Woody,
in.
Domish, and Josh B.
All right.
Going in.
Okay.
Hear that, Rob? Hear that,
I
Rob?
heard it.
Not
I
a
heard
top
it.
3 queen. Deal with
heard
it.
It's cool. I mean, wait. We could bet. Let's just put money on it. Let's put money on it. To a tax on bullshit. A tax on bullshit.
Gambling is illegal in Texas. We do not make those decisions here. We make those decisions on DM on not recorded streams.
It's not gambling. It's just him donating from the poor to the rich. Okay.
To the jobless, to the unemployed.
All right. So how about let's talk about seven. Let's talk about seven. Who do you have for seven?
Yeah, 7. This is hot. This is, I guess, another hot take. I got Keith at 7.
Yeah.
Over, the Portland team and Charlie's team. Keith is kind of frustrating to watch because I'm like I love Keith. I'm a fan of Keith, but like every tournament I watch is oh, Keith's got a good team. They could go deep. And then I watch him start the tournament. It's like, oh shit, Keith's playing like good. They can like fucking podium. And then he just starts like donating eggs at the start of every map. I'm just like, come on, just like scale it back a little bit, man. I just think he just like stops playing as well. Like I don't know what it is, but like halfway through the tournament, like I just see a little like decline in the decision making.
I mean, is it
But
just getting
he's still
punished?
like really super solid.
Sorry. I mean, his tech is crisp and clean. I just don't think he makes super good decisions. But is he just bullying sort of mid-tier, lower-tier warriors until he gets late in the tournament, and then he just can't just outplay anymore, and then he fizzles out?
That's a good question. I mean, he won that Jacksonville tourney a year ago
Right?
against that pretty solid Chase and Chipwash team. And then we got second at that West Coast Circuit SF. But that one I think was more of a chill tournament than like the other West Coast circuits. So like I don't know, he's got a track record of going deep in tournaments, at least in competitive and mostly competitive tournaments. But like I really love his supporting squad is the thing here. Like because like Austin Waters, like Austin plus Mario and Nathan is like a really nice trio of safer playing warriors. Like warriors that will work with Keith and like make sure he doesn't have to solo maps. And then you have Katie, who's like probably like the lowest like drone ego drone like in the game. Honestly, like she literally just like lives in snail hell. Like will do whatever is best for the team. I like the balance of the warrior core, and I think like Austin plus Katie is like going to have snail on their side of the map most of the maps. So it's just like a nicely balanced team, and I hope they make a deep run. But I got them at 7.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now looking at my seed, I would definitely put Keith. I have them at 9, and they should definitely be above, I think, Master Joe, the SFL team. Sorry, Master Joe. I think you still make the tier A, but yeah, I do think they've just got more depth in the Warriors. And then Austin's a good boy. Austin also, I think, nicely like can shot call and all of that. Like,
Yeah.
team focused. Yeah.
Dude, I love playing drone with Austin Waters. It's just like having one of the best snail escorts in the game. Snail's always passed through safe on day, pretty much playing with Austin Waters. It's really fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Mario, where do you think you're going? Where are you headed in this tournament?
I think we're gonna pop off a little bit, but we're gonna fizzle out like top 5. So I think we'll knock some good teams out, but I don't know what we can compete with the best queens, but we can try.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching your team play. That's like this tournament is like, the NFL red zone for me, but KQ. Like all my friends are playing, like all these teams are good. I just get to sit on the couch, drink some Pacificos, get some chips and salsa, and just like enjoy all this shit from home. I'm so excited. Don't have to stand in a crowded room, like try to peek over someone's shoulder at the monitor. Gonna have the best time watching this tournament. And I get to be obnoxious in the chat. It's gonna be
Hell
good.
yeah. Hell yeah. If I win a big game, I'll flash you.
No, hell yeah, dude. No, flex on camera. You gotta pull that Metro Flex, like double bicep, like.
Okay. All right. That worked.
Okay. So at 8, I got the Portland team. Do we know is Andy Queen name?
I don't know. I mean, Chaco is first on the list, and Chaco has queens. Like Chaco got, I think, like a 7th in Bumble Bash 3, and maybe a fifth in Bumble Bash 4. Like, I would definitely say Chaco's the more accomplished of the queens, although Andy got that
Yeah.
second in like the Phoenix tournament, the Shash tournament. So I don't know. I would guess Chaco's queen though, but I'm not entirely sure.
This team also recently announces Melly is subbing in for Mel B, and I love Mel B, but Melly's like drone is like awesome. I really love like her comms and her ability to. I got to play with her Dallas Grindfest, right? And just really concise comms and just a good communicator. And Chaco, like I got to play with at Spar Lake for the first time, and he's just like a great in-game leader. Like I don't know, he's just like very supportive of his teammates and calls out a lot of stuff as well.
Yeah,
So
Chaco's the epitome of good vibes. Like Chaco's so
yeah,
freaking
dude,
fun to play with.
this team is all good vibes. So they
Yeah,
could definitely break past top eight. I just
yeah,
a little ambiguity about the Queen is what's keeping me from seeding them
yeah.
higher.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I think if I was in Portland and I knew how much Chaco was grinding, I think I'd be more comfortable seating them higher. Because I mean, has Chaco queened a tournament recently? I'm not sure about that.
I don't
And
remember
or
that.
if yeah, yeah, I agree.
I think Chaco played with Dylan Lee at 35, and then played with Quinn at Spar Lake. At least from what I no Mel he played with Mel B. Mel B queened at Spar Lake, but he hasn't queened himself. I don't think
All right,
so.
and
I'm excited to
then
watch his team too. I mean, John Mark's like a great Lex and John Mark are great warriors. Like they
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah,
also like win maps for this team.
absolutely. Yeah, this team is scary. I think they could, you know, upset some people and end up top five. Uh, okay, and then
Okay,
who rounds out? Did you
no,
did the Charlie?
I
Did
did
you
a 9
put?
and 10.
Okay, sorry, did I miss your Charlie? Where you put Charlie?
No, I'm gonna say some stuff that'll get me in trouble
Oh
locally.
no, wait.
I
So did
have.
Charlie didn't make top 10 for you?
He did.
Okay,
He did. I just have him at 9.
okay, okay.
I think
Like
that's kind of fair.
like. Okay, Dallas's like revelation this year is that like we don't practice correctly. We're not playing positionally correct KQ, and we don't invest enough in like like our objective win conditions.
Okay.
And like we've had that revelation since Salt Lake. Like that's why I flamed out so hard because like we spent 3 months scrimming preparing for that tournament, and turns out like all that preparation was kind of for nothing because we didn't fix our like core problems.
Okay.
I still haven't seen that like adjustment yet in the scrims.
Mm,
Like it's still like the same winning in scrims by like bullshit like bing bong kills on like Eduardo or whoever's queening against them.
mm.
Um, there's a lot of warrior talent in this team. Like Eric has gotten really fucking good the last year. Alberto is obviously one of our best speed warriors. Brian Lucas, who sorry Mario, he's ours now. Solid like safer warrior.
Keep them.
Oh,
Oh shit, are you disowning him? Is this a
Yeah,
disown on stream?
yeah. Take it there.
Shit,
I don't want them no more.
we'll gladly keep him. Uh, and we'll gladly keep you too when you move up here in a year. But anyways, um, and then Carlos on drone, right? So like, there's talent here, like for sure. I just don't think the scrims are very promising.
I see.
And they can definitely put it together the day of the tournament. There's like enough like there's enough like drive and leadership to do it. Uh, I don't know. I just need to see it to believe it. Or yeah. So it's just like the scrims like haven't changed is the thing. Like since Salt Lake, and that's what's like kind of discouraging a
So
little bit.
it's too much like full flex nonsense. You're not actually pushing the snail when you have like some small advantage. You're just like be like two warriors to one and you get a third warrior instead of like just having your drone push the
It's just
snail
like
or what?
I think our biggest problem is like unauthorized aggression and then like misunderstanding of roles. Like
Mm,
like we start out with like okay, like you're the snail escort. Like if they start running berries, you're the ledge. You're like the speed warrior that facilitates. And then the game state is very fluid with like who has speed, who doesn't. And like when the game state is fluid, that middle to late game, that's when we struggle to like rotate in between roles. And I think that leads to like zoning errors, like where we're not playing correctly around objective, or we have two people in the same zone going for the same play. There's like a lot of clumping.
Okay.
Um, I mean, we're trying to fix it, but like I don't think we fixed it in time for this tournament.
All
So
right.
we'll see what happens. I love my boys. Like, I want them to fucking like, if they, I hope they clip this and like shove it in my face when they get like podium at this tournament. That's like my dream, right? But like, I need to see it first,
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right.
I'll be rooting for them for sure.
And then who's your 10?
MJ,
MJ.
SFL.
Okay. Makes sense.
They got Brian Aston, Anthony Hall, and Seb, and Paul from Minneapolis. Solid squad. I like Brian Aston, Speed Warrior. I like Anthony's Vanilla Warrior. Just like a little bit of mixing, right? Like I would have like if they had Jaden, I think on second speed. And no offense to like Pauly, but like I think like same scene, like
Oh no. Audio cut out again. Sorry. Is this working? It says it's connected, but it doesn't look like it is. Just gonna reload Discord. Sorry, more technical errors, technical difficulties. Uh, sorry. Okay.
curious.
Yeah. Okay, so you like it basically left off when you were like saying that you'd like it more if Jabin was on the team, and it's got a
Yeah,
little bit of
because
like
then they would, yeah, because then they'd be scrimmed as 5, right? And they'd be
yeah.
single scene.
Well,
And I really like Jabin's second speed.
yeah. I mean,
So,
Brian Aston
or
is
Showtime's great too. Like
yeah. Aston is not in
Brian
South
Aston
Florida.
is,
He's North Florida.
that's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a little bit like the Austin
I
Dallas
imagine he
relationship.
drives down.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's more like a 5 hour than a 3 hour.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how much he really gets to play with them. He's definitely like this sort of hardcore, like wonder kid from a scene that doesn't sort of tend to do that well. Uh, and he does play with them a lot when he can. But I suspect it's more like once every 2 months rather than like, yeah, any more than that.
yeah. Um, I mean, he's a great speed warrior. Like he's got like this really like strong competitive background where he like travels a lot and he plays with as many teams as possible. He's like this merc that like plays on whoever wants to play with him pretty much. He's been playing with SL more lately.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Like they're like I said, they could definitely show up on the day of the tournament as well and crack the top 5
Yeah.
and top 8.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And this is a nice parody. There's like a really nice parody from 6 to 10. But like I really love the or maybe 5 to 10. But like I love that less than top 3 parody in this tournament.
Yeah. I think yeah, I would guess Josh B is if he ends up in that A pool is gonna win it. Um, but otherwise, yeah, I think there's a lot of parity in that A tier.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Okay.
okay.
I'm excited. Like this is gonna be a fun one to watch.
Yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
All right.
I mean, I will be rooting for you guys. I just, I kind of, obviously I want Dallas to win, but I don't know. You guys are my homies. I'd love to see you guys with another like trophy in your trophy case. So, bring it home. Do it for me.
I mean,
For
if
Do it for me because I said so. Yeah.
All right. I guess we're sort of done. I don't know if there's
Bob, your
anything
audio
else to
cut
talk
out, or
about.
we can't hear you.
Oh, I said I guess we're kind of done.
No, I think that's it.
All right. I'll
Yeah.
gladly I'll gladly.
Yeah. Any more hot takes, Mario? Anything else you want to fire off?
Nah. Well, nobody make me mad, or I'll beat you at the
Oh.
tournament. All right. Don't say anything to me. I'm gonna fuck you up if you do.
All
Oh,
right.
okay. All right. No shit talking Mario. Wait,
Rob already knows.
what are the prizes for this tourney?
I don't know if there's. I don't know. I should be a
Is that
better
public
Mark
knowledge
fan.
yet?
I don't know. Yeah. This is embarrassing. I've mostly been focused on like getting cabs there. Like I'm literally gonna go take a bus to Philly tomorrow and go all across the eastern seaboard picking up cabs. So yeah, I haven't, other than contributing to the logistics, haven't paid much attention to like the day-to-day stuff for the tournament. I don't know if there's prizes. That's my way of saying it. There's definitely
Yeah.
gonna be some cool ass pins, but everyone's getting them. Uh,
Wait, is there like a bar at this like venue? Like, do people bring their
no,
own
no,
drinks? Like, how does that work?
no. Officially, there's no drinking.
Yeah.
There is a brewery like certainly less than 5 minutes away. I don't know how all of this is gonna go down. Um, you know, edible marijuana, it's legal in New York City. It's a better drug. Just get stoned. Uh, but
Does that make you play better?
no, it makes me play worse. But it's
Oh,
whatever. I can
okay.
show you my weight loss graph or my cardio or my fucking strength, whatever. All the shit's so much better that I drink less, substantially less. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, but the TLDR
All
is
right, sober
I
tournament.
it might be a silver tournament. Maybe people will want to go to Wonderville. Maybe people will want to just like leave the premise. It's in downtown Brooklyn. Like it's in like there's stuff all around. Like you get out, walk 5 minutes, you're in civilization. You could certainly find some decent bars, and even a brewery. So maybe that will be what people do. I have no idea.
Right. Right, sounds good. Well, good luck and have fun, boys. This was I really enjoyed doing this, having this conversation.
Yeah,
I think it's like respectful and good to like analyze teams because it's just like good content, honestly. Like it's just like a fun discussion to have.
yeah.
So
I mean,
definitely
you're
down to do this again in the future. You all
sounds
are.
good. Yeah. You are, I think, the number one
Yeah, I'm
guy
down.
All
most
right.
obsessed with seeding though. Like you love sending the DMs with the seeds and bragging about how
Well,
well
I'm
you did.
going out like this is here. Like my track record right now is like I don't post them unless I'm right. This is me going out on a limb and like talking about seedings before the tournament happens. So this is a risk to my reputation, like I'm
Yeah,
not like obscuring the bets here.
yeah,
So let's see how
Yeah.
it goes.
yeah. We'll see.
If
All
I'm
right,
right,
guys.
I'm
All
Galaxy
right.
Brain.
See y'all.
All right. See
Yeah.
y'all.
Bye.
Bye, guys.